Okay, this lesson is about similarity in right triangles. And so let's recap what a vocabulary word, altitude. So altitude of a triangle is the line that makes a right angle with the base. So whether that's on the inside or the outside, it makes a right angle with the base. Vocabulary, remember it, please. Okay, so then we're going to have, this is really popular, you'll see a right triangle that's actually divided into three different triangles. So if you take the big triangle, which is in purple, the CAB triangle, and you draw the altitude, which is right here, and it makes that right angle, it divides it into two smaller triangles. So you have this little blue one that's right here, right there, and then you have this medium-sized green one that's right here. So whenever you do this, all three triangles are similar. Okay, so the purple one, that's the big one. Let's see if I can get all this highlighted correctly. So A on the purple one is congruent to A, the littler, or the fatter angle is what I'll call it. And then B on the big triangle is congruent to C on the little one. Okay, so that's the skinny angle. And then the right angle's C. Oh, I should use a different color. C on the right angle on the big one is congruent to the right angle on the little one. Okay, and so on. So that works. It's similar also to the green one. And then that means also the small and the medium one are similar. I'm not going to go through that because it would take so much time. So just know whenever it does this, it'll give you a right angle. I'm going to call this the fat angle and this the skinny angle. Okay. So on the big one, it has a right angle right here. This is your fat one. This is your skinny one. On the green one, the medium-sized triangle, this is your right angle. This is your fat angle. This is your skinny angle. So that's going to come in handy. I know it's a little difficult to see, but just do your best. So what similarity statements can you write on this? So remember, you have three triangles. So three triangles. You have the small, the medium, and the big, right? So you can say the small to medium triangles are similar. You could say medium to big triangles are similar. And then you can also say small to big, right? So there's going to be three different similarity statements that we're going to write. Okay, so now let's do the small, and I'm going to outline this. The small one is going to be in green. So I'll do that and that. Let's do the medium one will be in red. So it looks like that. And then the big one, let's do in blue. So that'll be all the way across. Okay. So, and each one of these has a right angle, and I'm going to go ahead and draw this one in because it's not in there. It's not shown, but it might help you. Okay, so they each have a fat angle, a skinny angle, and a right angle. So I think that will help you whenever you're doing this. So the similarity statements, small to medium, you're going to have triangle something is similar to triangle something. So in the small triangle, let's start with the right angle. So the right angle on the small one, that's the green one, would be what letter? W. Okay, we're going to do the medium. We're doing small to medium. So the right angle in the medium-sized triangle would also be W. Okay, so now let's do the fat angle. So the fat angle in the small one is X. And the fat angle in the medium one would be at Y. Okay, and then the last angle to do is the skinny angle. So the skinny angle in the small one would be Y. And the skinny angle in the medium one would be Z. So that would be one of your similarity statements. Okay, we're going to do this a few times. So now let's do medium to big. So Doesn't matter which angle you start with. Let's start with the skinny angle this time. So the skinny angle on the medium one would be Z, and the skinny angle on the big one would also be Z. Okay, then let's do the fat angle on the medium. The fat angle on the medium size is Y, and the fat angle on the big triangle is, is X. I was having trouble seeing it. Okay, so the fat angle is X. All right, and then last is the right angle. So the right angle on the medium is W, and then on the big one, that would be Y. Okay, last one. We're gonna have it like this. So the small angle, let's start, doesn't matter which one we start with. Let's start with the right angle again. So the small right angle on the green one is W. Small right angle on the big one, that would be at Y. The fat angle on the green one, we'll do that one next. The fat angle on the small one would be X. And the fat angle on the big one would also be X. And then the skinny angle on the little triangle is Y, and the skinny angle on the big triangle is Z. Okay, so these are what you're going to look for in your answers. I know I wrote a bunch of extra stuff. That's just to kind of help you. But that is what they're looking for whenever they ask for the 3 similarity statements. Okay, you have another one right here. So I'm going to challenge you to pause the video and try this one by yourself. You can color code it by yourself if you want to color code it, and then watch the video. You can. Okay, so we'll do the small one in red. So that's the small. Here is the medium. And then the big one. So we need to do small. We need to do small to medium, medium to big, and big, or let's say it doesn't matter, small to big. Okay, so on my small, that would be triangle something is similar to triangle something. So let's start with the right angle on the small, and let's go ahead and draw that one in. So the right angle on the small is S. The right angle on, we're doing the medium, so that would be the green one. So that would also be S. The fat angle, we'll do that one next. The fat angle on the small is Q. Fat angle on the medium one would be P. And then we have the skinny angle on the little one, so that would be P. And the skinny angle on the medium one would be R. All right, that one's done. Let's do this. So we've got medium to big now. So let's just do the right angle again. So the right angle on the medium is S. The right angle on the big one is P. Now let's do the skinny angle. The skinny angle on the medium one is R, and the skinny angle on the big one is also R. And then the fat angle on the medium one is P, and the fat one on the big one is Q. All right, last one, finish strong. So we have the small to big. So let's do the right angles. So the right angle on the little one is S, and the right angle on the big one is P. And then the fat angle on the little one is Q, and the fat angle on the big one is also Q. And then the skinny angle on the little one is P, and the skinny angle on the big one is R. So if you pause the video and do this on your own, it's fine if you have it in a different order. Just make sure if you have S here, that the letters line up. Okay, so that's what I mean. So take a second to double check them that you have them right. But it doesn't matter if you have those discombobulated, but the Q has to be in the same place as the P. The P has to be in the same place as the R. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. So the next corollary theorem, okay? So if you have on these, Okay, so on these, on whenever you have this big triangle, that right triangle that makes these three total triangles, we just said they're similar. So this is something handy to know. So it looks like AD, oops, sorry, AD, which is the short side on the little one, is proportionate to CD, which is the short side on the medium sized one. That makes sense because those triangles are similar. Okay, and then CD on the little one is proportionate to, or the height, or the medium size side is proportionate to the medium size one on the medium size triangle. So those are proportionate. Okay, next one is almost the same thing, it's just a smidge different. So if you have AB, so the hypotenuse of the long side, or the big triangle, is proportionate to the hypotenuse of the little triangle. And then the AC, so AC would be the hypotenuse of the little triangle, is also proportionate to AD. Okay, so this in yellow is actually the base of the big triangle, and it is proportionate to the base of the little triangle. Okay, so same thing, AB, the hypotenuse is proportionate to the hypotenuse of the medium size, and then also the base of the big one is proportionate to the base of the medium size one. So just kind of some common sense, since we said they're all similar, then of course they have all these relationships that we can tell. And yes, you will be using these a lot, so get ready for it. Here we go. So it looks like we have our three triangles. We have, looks like they give us a side length. We're trying to find for X and Y. So X is the hypotenuse of the small triangle. So we're going to know we're going to need that. I'm going to make a little grid thing. So we know our hypotenuse of the small one, this is the hypotenuse, is X. Okay. And then do they give us any of our other hypotenuses? Do they give us the hypotenuse on the medium? So that would be right here. No, they don't give us that. Do they give us the hypotenuse on the big triangle? Yes, they do. So it would be all the way across. If this is 4 and this is 12, then all the way across would be 16. So we're going to do small to big. The hypotenuse on the small is X. The hypotenuse on the big is 16. Okay, so now they give us, we're going to use the base. This is where it gets a little crazy. So the base of the little one would be 4, so that's going to go there. Oops. So this is the base. And then they also gave us the base of the hypotenuse, which is right here, of the big triangle. So that would give us X. Okay, so here we go. We have our equation. We do have two X's in it. That's okay, we can solve it. So X times X would give you X squared. And then 4 times 6 would give you 64. So X squared equals 64. How do you solve and get the X by itself? Well, you do the opposite of X squared, which is take the square root of X and the square root of 64. So this would give you X. Square root of X squared is X, and the square root of 64 is 8. It's a whole number. So your X equals 8. Good, we have one answer. That's 8. So now we have to find Y. Okay. So we're going to do, this time we're going to have to talk about the medium triangle. So Y, right here, is the base of this medium triangle. So the medium base is y. Okay, and then do they give us any of the other bases? Yes, they do. They give us the base of the small triangle. So we're going to have to do medium over small. So that would be medium over small. And the base of the small is 4. Okay, what else do they give us on this medium triangle? Because we know we need something else on there. Well, they give us this height of the triangle, which is 12. Okay, so we're going to do height of the triangle, which is 12. And then the base of the small triangle, do they give us that? Or sorry, the height of the small triangle. That would be right here. So the height of the small triangle is y. Okay, so now let's go ahead and solve it. I'm going to multiply diagonally. So y times y is y squared. 4 times 12 is 48. Okay, so now let's take the square root of both sides. Is 48 a perfect square? No, it's not, so we have to break it up. So remember the square root of 48. What perfect square will go in there? Evenly. Need a second, pause the video, try to figure it out on your own. It is the square root of 16 times the square root of 3. All right, so that would give you 4 square roots of 3. So this would be 4 square roots of 3 is equal to y. So that is your answer, because you can't simplify it any farther. And you don't want to put that in your calculator because it'll give you you'll have to round and it won't be as accurate of an answer. So that's what I want you to give me. Okay, here's the next one. Looks like these are a little bit harder to see, but there is a small, medium, and large triangle again. That's a right angle. So let's say let's solve for x first. So x right here, there's a couple different ways to look at it. It looks like it's the hypotenuse of the small triangle, right? Okay, so we'll put that. Do they give us either the hypotenuse for the medium or the hypotenuse for the large one? Well, the hypotenuse for the medium is right here, so that won't work. And so the hypotenuse of the large would be the whole way across right here. What would that be? 9. So it would be 9. So we know we're going to do small to large. Okay, so what else do they give you on this? Well, they give you the base of this small triangle. So we're going to have to talk about bases next. So the base of the small triangle is 4. Do they give you the base of the big one? Yes, they do. It's right here. It is x. So that's going to be an x. Okay, so now we have our proportion set up. Let's go ahead and solve it. Multiply diagonally. This is going to give you 9 times 4 is 36 equals x squared. Take the square root. Hey, this one's a perfect square too. So the square root of 36 is 6. So x equals 6. All right, if I'm going too fast, always rewind videos and rewatch it to see if you can catch on. Okay, so now we have to solve for y. So solving for y looks like it is, that looks like the height of the small triangle. So it is the height of the small triangle is y. Okay, they give us any other heights of any triangles. So the height of the big one would be right here, and they don't give us that side. So and then the height of the medium one, they do give us, so it's 5. So we're going to have to be talking about the small and the medium. So small over medium. Okay, so they gave us the height. What else do they give us in the small triangle? Again, they give us the base. So the base of the small triangle, we're talking about bases now. So the base of the small is 4. What's the base of the medium? Base of the medium is y. Okay, so now let's multiply. So that would give us y squared equals 4 times 5 is 20. Is 20 a perfect square? No, unfortunately it is not. So let's go ahead and break it up. What perfect squares divide, or what perfect square divides evenly into 20? Well, that would be 4 and 5 is the other one. So that square root of 4 is 2, so this becomes 2 square roots of 5. So y equals 2 square roots of 5, just like that. Okay, so we've got 3 more problems. These ones aren't quite as tough. It's only one answer per problem. So find the values of the variable. So they give you, we're trying to find what a is. So a looks like it is the base of the small triangle. So the base of the small triangle is a. Do they give you the base of the big triangle? Because that, or what? Yep. They don't give you the base of the medium triangle. So we don't even have to worry about the medium. It's just the small and the big. So the base of the medium size, the large triangle, the big triangle, is 6. What else do they give you on the small triangle? Well, on the small triangle, they give you the hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse is going to be 6 over, what is the hypotenuse of the big triangle? Well, that's 12. All right, this one's a little bit different. That's kind of back to the old way of solving proportions. You're probably glad about that. No more square roots so far. Anyway, so let's do like this. So that would give you 6 times 6 is 36. And this would be 12a. Divide both sides by 12. So a equals 3. And that's it. All right, here's this one. Looks like we're trying to find x, which looks like the height of the small triangle. So the height of the small triangle is x. And then do they give us the height of any other one? They better. The height of the big triangle is right here. They don't give that, but it looks like they give you the height of the medium-sized triangle. So we're going to have to do a small and medium then. So the height of the medium-sized triangle is 8. Okay, so now the small triangle, they also, what's the other side length they give you in this bad boy? They give you the base. So we're going to be talking about the base of the small is 6. Oh, I take it back. There is a square root. Sorry. So the base of the medium triangle would be what? X right there. Okay, now let's go ahead and solve it. We're almost done. So 6 times x is 48. And x times x is x squared. So then you would need to take the square root of both to get rid of that squared on the x. And we need to break, 48 is not a perfect square, so we need to break up 48 into the square root of, if you remember, we already did this one once, it's 16 and 3. So that becomes 4 square roots of 3. So that is what x equals. All right, last problem. So looks like we are trying to find b, which is the base of the small triangle. B is going to equal to, what's the other base they give us? Looks like the base of the big triangle, so it's going to be small over big. So that would be 10. All right, what other side do they give us on the small triangle? Well, they give us the hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse on the big, or the small triangle is 10. What's the hypotenuse on the big one? It is 24. So now let's do our cross product. So 10 times 10 is 100 equals 24b. Go ahead and divide both sides by 24. Okay, put it in your calculator. It gives you some crazy looking 4.111 or 1666 or something like that. Okay, you can hit the I want you, whenever you're doing those like this, I want you to hit the fraction button on that, and it will bring it up as a reduced fraction, which is what I want you to leave this as. So I want you to leave it, it tells you 25/6. So that's what I want you to leave it as. Or I'll take that answer, that is completely fine, but I do want it in fraction form. Or you could do 4 1/6 if you want to convert it to a mixed number because you like to do that. If you don't want to, that is fine. I'm perfectly okay with you leaving it just like that. That's good to go. All right, that was it for section 7.4. Thanks for watching.